Right. I want to talk about royals. I want to talk about abolishing the monarchy. I do not actually remember a time ever thinking that royalty was a good plan for humanity. The thought of it, frankly, makes me gag. It's a system of unimaginable greed, laziness, and entitlement paid for by us while others around the world starve and scrape to get by. In all my life, I have never encountered one good argument to keep the monarchy. Not one. Literally not one. And I've heard them all. And obviously, the most frequently trotted out one is they're really good for our economy. No, they're really not. They're really not. And they lie about how much they're getting from the sovereign grant, as well, as I will tell you. They are really bad for our economy. In fact, they don't bring additional tourism into the country. When you look at the list of top 10 tourist destinations around the world, the Palace of Versailles in France is right up there. They don't even have a royal family. And Legoland Windsor has repeatedly beat the royal households, royal castles for visitors. Legoland Windsor, right? So anyway, this week was the anniversary of the second anniversary of the coronation. Let's bring in some images. Of course, this is Charlie Boy, and the thing is, I almost certainly came out of the womb with the mindset of being anti-royalist, because I don't even think it came from my own family, who are generally not as anti-royal as I am. That doesn't mean they are flag wavers, by the way. It's just that they probably wouldn't try members of the royal family in a court of law like I would. I believe they're traitors, not my family, the royal family. And I believe their history has worked against the people. I say all this, and I note that Charles Windsor, a man who has been given everything and still wants more. Still wants more. So he was crowned 2 years ago yesterday. Since then, we were told he has cancer. He's seldom worked. His family of taxpayer draining parasites have received over hundreds of millions of pounds from the taxpayer. He and his son have been exposed as slum landlords. And the man who officiated at his coronation, the most senior clergy then, the most senior clergy in England and Wales, Justin Welby, has left the church in disgrace after failing to appropriately act in reporting and stopping serial child abuser and almost certainly murderer of at least one child, John Smythe. Charles is very close to Justin Welby, who he has confided in and sought guidance from. Charles has a history of being close to inappropriate people. That's a fact. He was close to Bishop Ball, a paedophile. And he was close to Jimmy Savile, a necrophiliac, a paedophile, and procurer of children for the British establishment. I've said before, and I will say it again, it is impossible to have people like Ball and Savile around royalty and politicians without their team knowing about it. It's impossible. It really is. Therefore, I can only conclude that Charles knew who these people were and loved them all the same. He certainly knew about Bishop Ball. Bishop Ball had been charged, had been convicted, and then went on to be convicted of more charges of abuse against children. And Charles wrote to him to offer him support after the first charge. So Charles knew. Charles absolutely knew. And as I say, by the way, they absolutely do lie to us. They lie to us about how much they cost. They claim it is £86 million a year estate funding, which is gobsmacking, obviously, even on its own. But anti-monarchist group Republic have revealed the true total is many times higher as the public figure. And it fails to acknowledge all the costs we pick up, including security, which is not part of the sovereign grant. So we publicly acknowledge that we pay them £86 million a year. It is gobsmacking, right? But actually, Republic have worked out that it is probably closer, ready for this, to 510 million a year, right? Not 86 million, as the PRs in legacy media like to tell you. And but Had anybody seen this? He and his former mistress unveiled shiny new portraits on themselves. So let me at the end to recognize this second anniversary. I'm just looking for a video. Let me just find the video. Ignore me falling over my words as I'm looking for the video. Yeah, here's the portrait. This was at the Royal. Oh no, that's about something else. Here you go. So that is unveiling shiny new portraits of Charlie Boy and his former mistress. I will never see them as a king and queen. I don't believe in people ruling over us. Not at all. Abolish the monarchy. Absolutely.
It's time to wake up with Sonia Poulton.